Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, we're going to be putting foundations under these two structures right here. And the challenge is that the road in front of them is at a slight angle. It goes uphill. And then from the road, the ground goes downhill back towards me. So we need to get foundations under these two structures to make them level. All right, well, like always, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we'll need to do is remove the two structures. Then we need to get our sidewalks glued in place. And then we'll head over to the workbench and paint and weather some foundations to put under the structures. Okay, the first thing I had to do was cut off the little sidewalk that was on the front of this. And then there was a little concrete pad right outside the back door. And I cut that off. Next, I laser cut some stone foundation. And you may recognize this from my last kit. It was a background structure called Dalton's Spark Plug. So I'll simply spray a gray primer on these, and then we'll come back and add a little bit of texture to them and weather them with some pigments. As you can see, I put a gray primer on our brick foundation, and now we're going to add some texture to it using concrete from Ammo. Now recently I've had a lot of people ask me about using this concrete texture on sidewalks, driveways, and I don't recommend it because it's out of scale. This is meant for military modelers that do 1/35th scale. Now this is great for texture, as you'll see I'm going to do next, but I don't recommend it for concrete. It's just too big, and people have mentioned about sanding it, and it is just unnecessary work. The best thing for concrete is styrofoam, pink or green styrofoam. The texture is perfect for HO scale. All you have to do is paint it whatever gray color you want to, and then use some pigments to weather it. And you know, you can get small, very small scraps maybe at a construction site or even at Home Depot in the back of the store. They have a lot of scrap that they'll end up throwing away at the end of the day, and you may find a small piece and just ask someone if you're able to take it. Or they may have a full sheet that has been destroyed by a forklift, and you may get a really good discount on a piece that's been kind of beat up. And what I do sometimes is I'll carry this with me or have this in the car and buy a full sheet, take it out to the parking lot, cut a few lines. You can snap the stuff. You could fit a whole full sheet of it, 4 feet by 8 foot, in the trunk of your car if you need to. Okay, let's get to texturing this. So I'm just using a sponge, a grout sponge. And if you want to, you can let this dry and then spray it again with a gray primer or a tan color, whatever color you want to. But the point is, you can, after this dries good, if you wanted to paint your stone a different color, you can. And then of course we'll use pigments on it to really weather it. And we'll get maybe some small green vines growing up the side of it. Okay, the texturing is all done. It's a great texture for this, but again, not for concrete. It's just it looks out of scale. You know, as much as I love all ammo products, my YouTube channel is meant to help modelers get the best results possible. And so that's why I say use styrofoam for concrete in HO scale, possibly even N scale. Okay, next we need to cut this into sections that go all the way around the bottom of each structure. Okay, so I have this one done. I did not put it on the front because that'll sit right on the sidewalk. Now for this one, I'm going to tear off the foundation that's on there and put the brick. I'll take some sandpaper and sand that smooth and then put my wall around it. Okay, they're both done. Turns out I only needed one strip, so now I've got some extra for another project. Now we'll head over to the layout with these and I'll show you how we're going to put these in place. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is move these structures so they don't get wrecked. We'll move our tree. Okay, next we need to draw an outline of where we want these. And it has to be exact, because we're going to cut into the foam. I should be doing this with a black Sharpie or a black pen, but this works. Okay, next we're going to use a Dremel tool and we're going to carve sort of a moat that or a little trench that those foundation walls slide into. Okay, now let's see if this actually works. I have a mini level that I'll put on it. Now I'll show you on the front of this one, we're going to have to put a step up to the front door. Let me take the camera off and show you what it looks like. So we'll have to put a little step maybe right there. And then we'll put a step right there to the front door. Now we'll build a deck on the back side of this with steps going down right here. And we have to do a walkway right here. I'm really excited how this has turned out. And we'll get grass and weeds all put back here. And then we'll cap the top of that wall just like we did over here. So I'm pretty excited because once we get all of this covered with grass and weeds and fully detail it, then we can move on to finishing this entire area down here. All right, so I think this is a really good solution for structures that are on uneven ground. Now, on the other side of the layout, there is a big hill and a street that goes up it at a curve. So all of the foundations on the structures will have to be done like this. And then small little steps going up to each storefront. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have had someone holding the shop vac while I was doing the cutting. But oh well, I just took a little extra time to get everything cleaned up. I hope this gave you some great ideas for your own layout. All right, well, that's all we have time for today. And again, a special thank you to all of my Patreons. You guys are incredible. All right, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.